Good afternoon, everybody. Evening, I guess. Greetings. Hoping everybody's having a good day, enjoying life, living life, loving life. I got a quick little video I want to do here. And I hope it'll help you guys comprehend the thing about life and death. Because when we think about ourselves and, quote, die, most of us think that it's a one-time event or an instantaneous event, and that's all it is. Where in fact, if you think about it, apple juice comes from apples. Okay? Now when an apple falls down to the ground and gets separated from the tree, is it dead? Does it die right like that? Or is it a process of decaying wherein all kinds of other life come and feed on it? So wouldn't that be a process? Just like life is a process. It's not an instantaneous thing. You don't come into life and then all of a sudden leave life instantly. Same with death. Death is not an instantaneous thing. It is an event. And it is an event that a lot of people to this day will express in certain touchy circumstances because somebody may have had a recent death in the family and they want to console them, and so they tell them, well, I hear your husband passed on recently. It's a polite way of saying somewhat the same thing, but is actually closer to the truth. Because, see, we take apples and we squeeze the juice out of them, and what's left, the pulp, we throw away. As if though the apple's no longer any good. We got what we want out of it, but I assure you that apple pulp is still used. It is not dead according to other life forms that use it for food to keep them alive. What about the juice? If it's no longer with the apple, like the apple falling from the tree, is it now dead? Well, then if we squeeze the apple juice out of the apple, is the apple juice dead? Is it only for our consumption? Look at all that. Look at all them bubbles. What do you suppose that is? Is that just like a soda pop? Carbonation. You can actually see them bubbles disappearing. And they're actually disappearing real quick. You know what that's from? Now this here, even though the bubbles might stay longer than pop, they'll actually still kind of dissipate rather quickly. And hopefully I can show you that by the end of the video. But here, being an old wine and moonshiner guy that uses natural juices for wines and shines, you can see here, this has got a layer of carbonated bubbles on it. And I shook the shit out of this about 3 hours ago and got the same kind of carbonation on the top there. But you can see there's still carbonation. The difference between this, if you look at it, You can see that's actually pretty cloudy, isn't it? Whereas this is pretty clear. So, what's going on here? What's going on in this apple juice? Now, normally people keep apple juice in a refrigerator. Me being an old shine and wine guy, I don't care if it's cold or warm. Matter of fact, if it's been sitting out in the warm, the longer, the better. Because what's happening here is you have natural yeast on almost everything in the world. Everything in the world, there's some kind of natural yeast. That's why yeast infections are so common. This here is fermenting. Now, I'm going to see if I can get close enough to the mic area here. See if you can hear this. When I open that, you didn't hear it fizz or nothing. I hope you heard that. That's the carbonation buildup in there. And when you drink this, you can taste the carbonation. In the apple juice, you can't taste the carbonation. It's not really quite carbonation yet. It is, but it's not as active as this. Why is that? What is yeast? Yeast is something that takes the sugar, one of the elements of the apple juice, and uses it to live. The byproduct is the alcohol, and that's why you hear it just like when you open a can of beer or a can of pop. It's a carbonation. You can taste that carbonation in this. Not so much in straight apple juice that's fresh. Now watch here, folks. I'm going to do the same thing I did with the apple juice. That's carbonation, folks. And like I said, you saw the carbonation on there when I did the video before I shook it. That's from hours ago. That's how active the supposed thing that we call death really is. I urge you to sometime go out in a nice mountainous type area in the middle of the night on a dark night with no moon, as pitch dark as you can get, and go walking through the forest without any light. And see if you can't see the light of the life forms on the floor of the forest. And then in the daytime, go back, mark those spots, and go back and find out what that life form, or take a light and shine it then. But beware that when you shine light and your eyes dilate to that, it's hard to get back to that pitch darkness right away again, and it might fool you. So make sure you do it away from you and give yourself time to get back to that darkness so you can continue on and enjoy the rest of it. Make a good, nice, long walk and see this life in the middle of dark. The light in the darkness. So that in your darkest times, you still see the light. And that light is life. Nothing dies. There are dead things. But we don't die. We pass on. This is eternal life. Does it make sense? I hope so. Anyway, I just wanted to put out that short little video. As you can see, that carbonation's almost gone. And that will be gone here shortly, next 15 minutes. Whereas the other one I showed you, that sat there for hours. And it's still got all kinds of fermentation or carbonated bubbles. It's not going to dissipate for hours. Because it's still actively fermenting, and now that it's shook up, it's helping move that carbonation around. There's actual life. There's, even though this is, if I set it still, it is ever moving because there is life in it. It has a constant current. In fact, when you pass on, and everybody thinks about death as being something negative, if it were negative, then the energy would go backwards and not pass on positively to another life form to help sustain their life. See, even in death, there is positive energy. So, shouldn't we be celebrating death just like we celebrate life? Why is it people mourn? Have we been tricked? Have we been tricked that time is stationary at some point? Think about it, people. Start asking yourself some questions. Do you really believe in death? If so, then how can you believe in life? Anyway, I'm going to post my other forum links and my PayPal link. Please check out those other forums, share my videos, share my links, and please, certainly, at least, attempt to hit that PayPal button and send me some love. In the meantime, realize I like doing these videos to try to help inform people, so I'm going to come right back on with another video in regards to all this coronavirus bullshit and the different things that they're doing and the disturbance, and now we have vaccinate or terminate. Okay, good job, good use of terminology. So pay attention to me. I hope you are getting something from these things, because if you don't know it by now, if it weren't for you people, I wouldn't be doing this. God bless, love you, and hope to see you right back here in a few more minutes. El Hotep Second, we out.